There's a new kind of inequality that no one likes to talk about. It doesn't come from money or race or even class, not directly. It comes from being watched. In today's world, attention is currency. The more people see you, the more they think you matter. But that attention comes with a price paid in privacy, pressure, and peace of mind. Social media turned visibility into value. The algorithm rewards faces that perform well, stories that stir emotion, and pain that gets clicks. And every post becomes part of the same machine, one that feeds on attention, not truth. We live in a world where everything is content, where people are raised not just by parents, but by cameras, where your life can be owned by the audience before it ever belongs to you. That's what happens when fame becomes a system, not a dream. A system that rewards perfection and punishes humanity. That builds people up just to see how fast they'll break. And no one was born deeper inside that system than Bronny James. Welcome to Filtered Society, where inequality meets social media. If you believe stories like this deserve to be heard, please subscribe. Before he even spoke his first word, the world already knew his name. Before he played his first game, people had already decided how good he'd be. He didn't just inherit his father's talent, he inherited the weight of his legacy. His childhood was never private. Every highlight was broadcast, every smile analyzed, every missed shot discussed by strangers. For most kids, growing up means making mistakes and learning from them. For Bronny, it meant doing that while millions of people were watching. That's not childhood, that's performance. We like to pretend fame is freedom, but for children of famous parents, it's often a cage with velvet walls. Beautiful from the outside, suffocating from the inside. Because when your life is public, your pain is too. In July 2023, during basketball practice at USC, Bronny collapsed from cardiac arrest. It was terrifying. He was 18, and within minutes, the story wasn't about his health, it was about headlines. Bronny James collapses. LeBron's son hospitalized. Photos spread across the internet before his family could even process what was happening. Comment sections filled with sympathy, speculation, and cruel jokes. Reporters camped outside the hospital like tragedy was breaking news. It wasn't enough to care. People had to watch. That's how fame works now. We turn fear into content. We call it empathy, but it's really entertainment. Platforms profit from our curiosity. Every view, every share, every ad beside his name turns human pain into revenue. It's not just the story being watched, it's being sold. For most of us, that kind of pressure would break something inside. But Bronny had no choice except to keep going, because stopping would only feed the next round of headlines. It's a strange kind of inequality, the kind that hides inside privilege. He has everything that money can buy, but he doesn't have what most of us take for granted, the right to grow in peace. Imagine being 18 and having millions of people judge your every move, every game, every post, every expression. If you smile too much, you're fake. If you don't smile enough, you're ungrateful. If you play well, it's expected. If you mess up, you're a disappointment. That's not freedom, that's surveillance. And social media calls it support. We say we're rooting for him, but in reality, we're just watching. We scroll, we share, we comment, and every click adds another layer of pressure. Because the truth is, the internet doesn't love people. It loves what people give it. That's what Bronny James represents, the new shape of fame in a digital world, where being born into success can still feel like being trapped, where young people are raised on followers instead of foundations, where your image becomes more valuable than your identity. And the machine doesn't sleep. Scouts watch, brands watch, strangers watch. Every clip becomes a data point. The highlight is praise. The struggle is proof. Your body becomes a forecast. Your name becomes a stock price. We call it opportunity, but it feels like an audit. The algorithm rewards whatever keeps us looking. A smile after a miss. A win after a scare. A family moment pulled into public because the public was already there. The platform doesn't care why we click, only that we do. So it learns our hunger for comparison and feeds it back to us, sharper each time. This is the quiet part no one teaches. that attention arrives with rules no one agreed to. Be humble, but larger than life. Be grateful, but never tired. Be transparent, but never vulnerable. Give them everything, and then a little more. Because somewhere, someone is already cutting your story into pieces for a better hook. We call it support when millions lean in, but support without boundaries is possession. And possession without care is just consumption in nicer clothes. We've built a system that treats fame like a form of merit, like attention equals worth. But what happens to the kids who are born into that system before they ever get to choose? Bronny's story forces us to look at that question, to see how fame doesn't erase inequality, it just repackages it. To realize that even privilege has a price when the whole world feels entitled to your life. We talk about nutto babies like it's a joke, but the truth is, it's a symptom of something bigger. It's what happens when society confuses exposure with existence. When we care more about someone's image than their humanity. Because fame isn't freedom. It's expectation, monetized. It's perfection, demanded. It's privacy, sold to the highest bidder. And for someone like Bronny, it's a lifelong reminder that even in comfort, you can still feel trapped. The saddest part is, we've gotten used to it. We scroll past the pressure like it's normal. We call it ambition. We call it legacy. But really, it's just performance, for us. Bronny James isn't just one young athlete trying to find himself. He's a mirror, a reflection of what we've turned the next generation into. We don't give them time to be human. We make them content. We don't let them figure out who they are. We tell them who they should be. We don't ask if they're happy. We ask if they're living up to our expectations. That's the price of a world built on constant visibility. A world where success is measured by who's watching, not who you are. Bronny didn't ask for this. He didn't choose the spotlight. But he was born into it. And now, like so many others, he's learning to survive inside it. Because the system that built him doesn't know how to stop watching, and the audience that loves him doesn't know how to look away. The same system that pressures him pressures all of us. The algorithm doesn't care if you're famous or forgotten. It just wants your attention. And as long as we keep giving it, someone will always be performing. Maybe it's time we ask ourselves why. Why we celebrate people for surviving the pressure we helped create. Why we call it admiration when it's really consumption. Why we keep scrolling through other people's lives while ignoring what it does to them and to us. Fame used to be a dream. Now it's a trap we mistake for love. Bronny James reminds us that even the most privileged lives can be shaped by invisible systems. The need to perform, the fear of failure, the hunger for approval. And until we see that for what it is, we'll keep clapping for stories that were never ours to watch. Because if fame is the price of visibility, then privacy has become the luxury only the unseen can afford.